This is Ken Smith reminding you it happened today, April 16th. But the year was 73. The place, Masada, a Jewish fortress, falls to the Romans after a siege of several months, ending the Jewish revolt. It was on this day, April 16th, 1705, when Queen Anne of England knights Isaac Newton, who discovered the principle of gravitation. It was on this day, April 16th, 1789, George Washington heads for the first presidential inauguration. It was on this day, April 16th, 1874, when Dr. David Livingstone, who discovered the source of the Nile River, David Livingstone's body arrives in England to be buried in Westminster Abbey. It was on this day, April 16th, 1881, Dodge City, Kansas, Bat Masterson fights his last gun battle. It was this day, April 16th, 1922, sharpshooter Annie Oakley sets a woman's record by breaking 100 clay targets in a row. It was also April 16th, 1962. Walter Cronkite begins anchoring the CBS Evening News. All this happened in the past on April 16th, but this is today, April 16th, 2020. A large and raucous crowd, some walking, some in their cars, holding signs, beeping horns, arrive at the Capitol in Lansing, Michigan. They call it Operation Gridlock. They gathered to protest Governor Gretchen Whitmer's stay home, stay safe executive order. Organizers of the rally want the restrictions eased and the state economy restarted. Life is a precious gift, and we are made to get outside and to do something. And as you look outside in Brooklyn, the cherry blossom season, it's fleeting, with most of the blossoms erupting and will return to dormancy within the span of a month. Most of the cherry blossoms on the 52-acre Brooklyn Botanic Garden, including all 76 lining what's called the Cherry Esplanade. So when they bloom all at the same time. Passers-by now can catch a glimpse just of several of the trees because the park is closed. Most of the trees are hidden behind a wrought iron fence that surrounds the garden. But if you walk up the hill near the parking lot, between the Brooklyn Museum and the garden on Washington Avenue, at the top, there's a spot that you can peek through and see the boughs of bursting cherry blossoms. Here's an idea. Why don't you get up right now, put on your walking shoes, and take a 20-minute walk and enjoy the bursting blossoms of spring. Easter Sunday, Brazil, overlooking the city of Rio, Christ the Redeemer statue. But on Easter, Jesus is clothed in a doctor's coat and stethoscope, projected with the words thank you and hope in 31 different languages. The slogan, Fique en casa, meaning stay at home, were prominently displayed on the arms of Jesus. Sweden decided to ignore the lockdown being imposed everywhere else, and instead, their plan, their strategy, leave the schools, the bars, the cafes, the restaurants open. And now, in light of the growing number of deaths of Swedes from the COVID-19 virus, the public is asking, researchers are writing to the government, our approach must be changed radically and swiftly. Close the schools and restaurants in the same way that Finland and Norway and the other Scandinavian countries had followed that strategy. In England, World War II veteran Tom Moore will turn 100 on April 30th. Right now, he walks with the aid of a walker. He asked, what can I do in the face of this viral shutdown to support the people, the doctors and nurses who took care of me when I broke my hip? And so the 99-year-old veteran set a record. He wanted to walk simply 100 laps in his 75-foot-long garden. And he wanted to do this by April 30th, with the goal of raising 1,000 English pounds, or $1,250. Well, what happened? Within days, 250,000 supporters have pledged, as of today, 7.7 million pounds, or the equivalent in dollars of $9,645,482. Today, a new study of 1,100 Americans tells us that as a result of the isolation of the virus lockdown, 4 in 10 Americans say they are lonelier now than ever before. If social distancing and quarantine continues, 20% said that they believe it will have a major implication on their own mental health. And so it's in times like this that we realize what we believe or don't believe. It's in times like this when we're reminded of a peace that passes all understanding. Jesus said, I give you my peace, not as the world gives peace. The peace of Christ passes all understanding. This is Ken Smith reminding you it happened today, April 16th, 2020.